against both sides.
They freed up a Bard ban.
Yeah, I think that's actually very valuable. It was definitely going to be picked if you weren't banning it, that's for sure. So didn't end up being too spicy, though, from that far behind. Going to go ahead and ban probably Nocturne, Poppy, Camille again, unless they want to grab Camille for career.
They're on the same side, same first pick. Camille will be banned by T1 this time. So that makes the decision to ban it irrelevant. So they have an extra ban this time around. Orianna will be banned by T1. There's no Vi, obviously, to focus on either. No Cassiopeia, no Ezreal. And the Bard we mentioned already. So I have a unique spot here. We'll see what they decide to take away. As Jarvan could be potentially what you want to take away, considering you're not necessarily going to first pick it here. Time ticking down. Akali. That's a safe ban in general, just against one of our best performing, if not the best performing Akali player of the split.
Hey, did you see Closer the other day? Some pop-offs?
Yeah.
I think Lucian's a good ban. It's very good for both players. So if you don't have first pick, definitely something. If you've got a little extra room, you can ban away. And
I don't think it's a first pick Jarvan angle, but also it's not an obvious first pick in general. The Jarvan is the highest tier jungler left up. See what the response is going to be for T1, because they could just lock a strong bottom lane here. Or get whatever Faker's mid pick is in the counter pick jungle.
Jayce was first banned by T1 in game 1, and now it's just wide open if they want to pick it. Olaf is still up, though, and Lucian as well. So Lucian, Milio.
You can often go just slam the Lucian. Did not expect the Shyvana. If that is in fact locked in, it did not do the animation, so not 100% certain about that. I'm going to guess that it's a visual API bug, and we'll get the confirmation in just a moment since the time is still ticking. Will be the Jayce that you mentioned instead, which makes a lot more sense. There's no Kanavi playing today. As the Caitlyn response here from Smash. And remember, Smash is an ex-T1 player, played behind Gumayushi, who has one of the most iconic Caitlyns across League of Legends history. They'll take the Caitlyn Lux right away from them. And they were not allowed to play last game with the Caitlyn ban from Dplus.
Yeah, playing this into T1 is almost like sacrilegious. But sure, go ahead. You do you. I mean, they know it's going to be Lucian Milio. I suppose you could go something like Lucian Ami, Lucian Braum, but I think the Milio would probably be...
The Milio is probably just still the best way, because you can flash a binding. You can actually look for more aggressive trades if you have the Milio. That all those other picks you mentioned just kind of don't work into this combo. Can't get access on the Braum, for example. Level 1 Braum, I was talking about a little bit yesterday, but with how League of Legends has changed, just isn't as relevant as it used to be since we go straight to lane.
Yeah, in Classic, they were like invading each other all the time. They had so much time. It was crazy.
I miss it. I've been enjoying Classic a lot.
Yeah.
But it's a faster game now. The Olaf is still available.
Yeah.
I think they will ban it with the Yorick as the two main potential counter picks here for Siwoo to pick up into this Jayce. As Twisted Fate is taken away from Faker, they really do like to augment these Lucian lanes with a set of CC from the mid lane, whether that's Twisted Fate or something else. So that's gone now. Do they think they have an answer to Olaf? Because the other pick I was thinking about was Rumble, because they have the Jarvan. And even the Lux can help empower a Rumble if the binding hits a prio target. The Equalizer just gets dropped on top.
Yeah.
You're just stuck in it for so long.
Yeah, I think the ult synergy and range that they have with Rumble with these three would have been very nice. So don't mind that ban at all.
Pantheon's also a great choice with the Lucian. There's so much burst. The 3v3 is so powerful. Lux is so squishy. As I don't think there's any way you could pick Olaf for Doran and put Jayce mid or anything like that. I think that one, if Siwoo wants it, he's going to get it. So the question now becomes, what does Faker want to blind here? It'll be the Ryze. So no Ryze Pantheon, but he still gets his hands on one of his best and one of the more iconic picks here across weeks 10 and 11, especially in Game 2.
Also, Cassiopeia and Anivia are gone. They're fearless banned, so kind of funny that that wasn't banned away, but I'm sure ShowMaker's gotten something prepared into this. Could go something like a Victor. Syndra also up there in terms of picks. Tons of pick potential, by the way, with Lux and Syndra, so that is going to be the choice.
Yeah, gotta just have good synergy between mid and support. The Olaf feels pretty predictable, does come through. There's no way to stop this guy from closing the gap. You see that win rate sitting up at 80%, something similar in Kespa Cup right now. It is just the most prolific, sudden, extreme relevant top pick. And we've seen Doran actually have a ton of success on it himself, so he's very familiar with its power levels. Now we're looking for what Oner's going to play here
Kiana?
In this draft. Don't try it!
Kiana?
Not in this region.
Oh! Sejuani.
Not in this region also, not this one.
Remember when this was picked like every single game?
Yeah.
Sedge, Maokai. Maokai, Sedge next game. Before Fearless, of course. Yeah. I mean, every jungler in the LCK can play
this at top level. If I had to explain permafrost synergy one more time. The thing about Yone Sejuani is that you can stack the permafrost real quickly.
Yeah, Rumble's like melee.
Occasionally, occasionally you get that Rakan. They changed Rakan in the bottom lane. It actually stacks permafrost now. Yeah. No, I'm pretty over all that, even though we haven't seen it in a while.
Now they have Jayce melee form.
It is very good with Lucian because you can, set a burst onto somebody so incredibly quickly if they get caught by that. And because they took the Twisted Fate away, it's a lot tougher to get that burst set up. Sure, Ryze can root somebody, but, he puts himself in harm's way to do so. But the Sejuani does offer a nice extra front line in this draft that was kind of sorely lacking that. I'm not necessarily a huge fan of it, but I think it can be powerful topside here. And the bottom lane is going to be all about career. He defines it. He controls it. What can he get done? What could he do to set up Smash? It's going to be a huge part of this early game here for Dplus.
It's a big game number 2. Let's see how it all shakes out as we hop onto the Rift. All right, game number 2 on the cards. Here come the mid laners to the bottom lane. They just saw someone. It's Faker. And ShowMaker was here as well. So could have been 3v3, ends up not being all too much.
Wow, Lucid and ShowMaker, a lot of control here. Thought for a moment maybe they try to set a trap and have a 2v2 on Raptors into this Ryze, but I think it's probably best to just head back. And in fact, Oner will get the Raptor start first. Lucid a little bit delayed.
They're going to play with all this range. Got to get started early, but Smash has already taken so much damage from the double taps of Peyz. If you're Lucian Milio, you got to get in there and get those trading windows in as whenever you can.
That starts the relentless pursuit to be able to close that gap and get that double tap. On a pretty long cooldown, as you can see here, 15 seconds left on it. So in these small trades, Smash is basically going to trade a little bit of extra burst to hope to get the sustained damage, but Peyz is playing so back so respectfully here that the punish just isn't necessarily going to come through. So that's a big shot there from Smash this time.
Ghosting in, and Faker says, I have the damage, I've calculated it miles ahead of time. As the Q comes in from ShowMaker, he has to flash away, and Faker holds on to his own.
Faker doesn't have TP, and ShowMaker does, so yes, he's down flash right now, but there are a few ways ShowMaker can turn this into a huge positive for him.
So level 3 gank and bot. Faker gonna flash forward over the Q. Level 3 on the wave.
He calculated it. He knew.
I was gonna say, talk about calculations. That's crazy.
And it's like the Comet is...
He has to stay, by the way.
Comet is in the air as he hits level 3. I'm pretty sure. Okay. All right. We occasionally pull out the hashtag for these, the hashtag things Faker does.
Yeah. I thought you were going to talk about like loudest champions in the game, because Sejuani is kind of up there. After what I just heard.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just the skin.
Look at that Lucid win rate, by the way. That's pretty crazy. 10 and 2 on the Jarvan.
Yeah.
So this is from Faker's perspective.
Faker.
와, 3렙 떴어.
he became level 3. That's what he said. Smash is low and Smash is dead. What happened in bot? We don't know. But we got to hear what ShowMaker said, as that is going to be a double kill here from Peyz, just straight up in the 2v2.
Peyz has his flash on cooldown. Let's see. A flashing a binding. Dash forward. Just a follow flash. Just gets the better trade here. Procs his passive. Packs his prosive. Gets the double. And yeah. I'm curious to see what ShowMaker had to say about that.
Hopefully not a lot, because that's definitely very tilting. I think Smash, you have to understand what Lucian can do. It's a good play from Peyz, but like, you know, you get hit by the Q, you get hit by 2 autos, you're probably getting in kill range very soon. And we did see that exact thing happens.
You see Keria hitting his combo there also just doesn't hurt that hard into Keria. Setting Peyz up there, and he needs the follow-up from Smash to really be able to get damage done when he does get a catch. Faker is flashless still, but he's so close to his turret.
Yeah, they saw Lucid here on that ward, and Oner, you know, maybe could have tried to come in and help, but instead he's just farming it out. As the blue buff is ready for the taking for Lucid.
So is it just another one of those games where team has a deficit, but they got to wait for that late game Olaf? His career is going to get dashed on. Oner is going to be seen by this ward. And I guess he'll just clear it. That might be the end of the play here. They have control of the wave now. And this Caitlyn lane is not working out.
Yeah, the Sheen versus the Doran's Bow Longsword, which Peyz also has. Peyz is ahead a Sheen. You do not get to trade anymore. You do not get to play the lane anymore.
And Lucid is, he hasn't really made a pass at this one. Did come over to the mid lane a moment ago, but got pushed away. Faker saw him. So he's out-farmed the Sejuani. I don't know how much that's necessarily going to mean as Faker, or rather Keria, take a little bit of extra damage here. Faker currently totally fine. Reactive shield.
How close is, no, he just said level 5. I was going to say, because we were getting the zoom in, we were like, is Peyz going to cast his ult? Doesn't need his ult to just chunk out the DK bottom lane.
Oh, the trap.
Yeah.
Not going to set anything up here. It's usually the other way around, but
we got Oner in the bottom lane. We got Faker on the way.
He's got Realm Warp.
What are they going to do about this? There's no TP on ShowMaker. The stop, the cancel on the back. And Faker goes back to mid, though, so not committing to it just yet.
ShowMaker had enough time to react. I think he probably wouldn't be able to stop.
Keria just may have just left Smash to die.
I think so.
In fact, he did leave Smash to die, which, I mean, to be fair, if Keria's there, probably he dies too, and you see that Smash holds on to his barrier, so kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation, I guess.
Valdes, I thought today was going to be epic. I thought today was going to be a 6 series, a lot of back and forth.
I thought Dplus Kia were the best team in the world. I've been lied to.
Earth.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Doran's dead, so that's one thing. So maybe he's not. Okay, the Undertow barely gets the kill, but he does go down as well. And Doran doesn't even use his Ignite.
There will definitely come a time when we stumble and struggle. CV Max 2026.
Just came a little bit quicker than we expected.
Not just a strong team, we're the best team on Earth. Best team on Earth. Lucid, no pressure, but guys. It's not Cataclysm, but Sejuani's here.
Smash is almost dead, and you see that at least the Flag and Drag is going to keep him up against the wall with the binding, and that will be a kill as he is locked down basically forever. And Peyz didn't have any way to get out of that one.
Best gank on Earth. Oner doesn't have level 6 because he's been out-farmed by Lucid. Lucid has a really huge experience lead. If Oner had his ultimate there, probably would have been able to get one back. But instead it is just going to be a pick there. And a really critical one. It itself is not alone enough to get Dplus back into this game, but it is a very large victory, especially after that trade in the top side. As Doran comes in here, forces the Ragnarok by going to the skies. And then Siwoo just canceled an auto there. It eventually gets him with that last undertow. As this replay got a little bit janky for a second there. But anyway, going to see Peyz step forward here, and that's exactly what Lucid was counting on. Pretty far away from the turret. Smash incredibly low. He doesn't have the damage to kill him. Smash is able to line it up there.
Yeah, when you're kiting, make sure you're always dropping traps. I've watched other Caitlyn pros with Dagon, and he was very not happy when they were not dropping traps because Smash lays down the trap, Peyz eventually runs out of room and just kind of has to step on one, and the second he does, he's just dead.
And I think Peyz is also thinking, well, they won't have enough damage, doesn't matter if I am in that position where I'll be stuck on the trap and I'm out of space, but when a Jarvan shows up, you're really in trouble if you don't have enough damage to kill that Caitlyn because the damage clapback is going to be pretty high. As Peyz getting zoned here off of this ward, will end up going over to Keria, but Keria instantly replaces it, which is very annoying, forces a control ward. And there's a little bit of stabilization down here on this bottom side now. It's not like, Keria and Smash are going to start dominating this lane, but definitely better than it was moments ago. CS has evened up. Still 3 kills to Peyz means he's very far ahead and is much closer to his Essence Reaver. He's going to ult.
Here's the angle. He's going to get a lot of damage into Keria. Double tap, forces the flash away. And just like that, I mean, K-Lux, they have so much setup potential if they can hit their abilities, but if you use a bunch and you miss a bunch, Lucian just takes over.
Really powerful moment there. Gets the flash out of Keria. And otherwise, just, as a result, we'll be able to push this wave and get a free back. Small moments like that mean that next time Keria is in an uncomfortable spot or has an angle where he could maybe look for a flash follow-up with a root. He's just not in range to do so. Essence Reaver is done. And so it's been tough, but now it's the hardest. Now it is the worst possible time for Dplus in any scrap that involves Peyz. Look at the lead here for ShowMaker. It is what's keeping the gold lead overall here for Dplus very close, despite the initial massive advantage for T1 at 1,200 gold. Now kind of gone. But the fact that Lucian is the lead is the biggest part of the problem for Dplus. The fact that Peyz, who is incredible on this pick, has his spike at the ready at 10 minutes, and is ready to keep using it to control dragons, to push Keria and Smash out of the lane, means his lead is just going to get bigger and bigger. Unless something is done about it. Lucid was able to get 1 successful gank. We'll see if he can do more, as we are grouping for Dragon here around that Essence Reaver spike, and Dplus showing up might not be ideal. Remember what happened last Dragon? Dragon 1, not the greatest, but they are going to look for a potential outsmite here.
Yeah, Oner smites the Scuttle Crab. Looks like he's got a second one on the way. And yeah, you got to be so careful with the culling available. Peyz can just poke you out before the fight even begins.
He's got flash, so punishing him is pretty out of the question. If he could just buy space to do one more double tap, sometimes that is just what does anybody in, including the Jarvan. As they are going to now control the space around the Dragon. Shield looking for an ult.
Yeah, and he's looking for the kill. One more undertow would do it. And the max range picks up the kill. Meanwhile, in bot, looks like Lucid went in, didn't even get to flash, just dies straight up. And now that Dragon should absolutely be the side of T1, especially with ShowMaker leaving.
Yep. No smite, so no way to contest. Not even worth trying to fight your way back into this one anymore.
They're just standing next to the Lucian. Not showing enough respect to the 4-kill Lucian right now with Essence Reaver.
So Doran has already shown us that you can be like 5,000 gold behind in a game like this, and then be a late game Olaf and run at the bad guys and win the game. He may now have to be shown that by Siwoo, who does run him down and get that max range undertow to connect. As he goes in here and gets interrupted by Oner, and the follow-up is immaculate. Keria gets the kick.
Yeah.
And Faker is already here.
It's those interactions that even guys like Lucian, or Lucid rather, probably might have just slipped his mind, right? He's like, oh yeah, I get the knock up here on an Oner, but no, it's Sejuani. She just dashes into you, and it makes the Jarvan look so silly.
Sometimes you get these replays with the slowdowns where it shows the outplay, but in real time, that happens so fast. While you're trying to make that engage, you're looking for your flash angle, and the kick just comes through, and you're like, that ruined everything I had pre-planned in my mind.
Yeah,
I mean, the reaction time from Keria, how swift he is on it.
It's also like, you know, we've seen a lot of Lee Sin Skarner, and Lee Sins nowadays know exactly not to go straight into the Skarner because you can get impaled and punished and you don't get to dash around a million times. But how many times has Lucid played into Sejuani nowadays that he knows that, okay, the second I go in with a flag and drag, which is generally uninterruptible, or at least, you know, is pretty fast.
Just get Arctic assaulted to the face.
If you get Arctic assaulted, you just die. Probably not fully expecting that he gets caught off guard. Now we have a collector here for Smash.
It's kind of crazy to think of this as, like, in a way, the counter pick to Jarvan when you see the interaction, but I mean, Oner has played like 10,000 professional games with Sejuani. Not really, but
it feels that way.
I mean,
it really does.
I'm actually really curious now. Because
I'm gonna guess 36. It's going to be the number, I guess.
I will look it up. It will take me a moment, but I will get it.
Yeah. I think, as well, when you're Jarvan, if you lock down a Sejuani...
It's his 4th most played 70 games.
Oh. I was like, not even close. Wow.
I mean, that includes international games.
Yeah, well...
across his career.
Yeah. We include those here, on this desk at least.
His top 3 are Xin at 98, Lee Sin 88, and Vi at 78. So I guess he's 2 ahead of where he's supposed to be on Sejuani. He's supposed to be at 68 of those.
Yeah.
Well, this game is back in T1's control after some good play from Keria and Oner there around that Jarvan engage. Smash, 1,400 gold behind. Didn't get his role quest as quickly.
Uh-oh.
Another kick from Keria.
Yeah, just one kick. Okay, there is going to be some stepping on trappage here from Peyz. And so he takes some damage, but he's got a Milio.
Oner has ult, so they really need to be careful, too, because they might just be able to get a flash on a flyby.
ShowMaker's keeping bot here. I guess they want to dive Doran, but it's a little bit...
I think this is okay if they don't get him, because they're still getting plates, and they're trying to win this race for first turret. I think they know that trying to fight for this Herald is not really going to happen. They can't get access to the pit because of the mid-prio here for Peyz and Keria. And Peyz and Keria didn't rotate topside to help Faker win this race, so it is just going to be a lot of extra gold gained here. And then now they can teleport to defend here with Siwoo. So I actually really like this read here from Dplus. It's not going to put them into a gold lead or save the game for them. Actually, it's a slight gold lead for a moment here.
100 gold!
But, like, I think that was the best play they could have made. As that's what I'm talking about on grabbing that flash. Oner just setting it up. He's done this at least 78 times.
Yeah, very experienced. I wonder how many games of Rel he has, actually, because, you know, there was
16.
a meta. 16. And then eventually she, of course, did get nerfed to Oblivion, in the jungle at least. And so wasn't playable there anymore. But was very meta dominant for a while. And he had that big play at Worlds, I think.
Yeah.
On the Rel. Flash over engage.
Well, that's a flashless Caitlyn now. So Dplus made the call to say, look, we're never going to get that Herald. Let's see if we can get as much value as a Herald might get on the bottom side. Way less valuable turret than the mid turret that's likely to go over to T1 because they got the Herald. But after losing the flash of Smash afterwards, too, it just feels so bad right now. If you are Dplus, T1 have so much control. We're getting to a point to where this 2-item Lucian isn't necessarily at his strongest. He isn't just going to be getting freebies. Speaking of freebies,
this time Oner does not interrupt it, and he was on vision. Should have known that Lucid was nearby. Tries to flash the Cataclysm, gets away. As meanwhile, she was like, oh, this Lucian, he doesn't look that strong. What happened in bot lane, by the way, guys? The both of them are just zoned away by one guy. And this Infernal Drake is up and available. Rift Herald going to be spawned.
Combat Herald potential, but they're just going to use it for the mid turret while they gain prio for the Dragon.
Somebody going to go over. That's a missed ult here from Oner as the McHale's comes out anyway. I guess it did its job in getting the McHale's.
They took a lot of damage, actually, trying to set that up. And it got a charge, the Herald did, but didn't get the turret yet. As Smash comes back into position to defend that. Siwoo also in position, but he doesn't like it. As it looks like the Dragon is going to go over to Dplus here to set us up for a 1-1 split here very late in the game, in almost 18 minutes, as we move into a Chemtech Soul. And Dplus are keeping this one even. They're not falling over. They're not falling apart. And yes, this Lucian is very, very large, but the Olaf is still a problem. And T1 are going to have to finesse their way through the rest of this game. I think they have a pretty nice edge in this one. Not just the goal, but just with the tempo that they still hold. But Dplus can get it back at a moment's notice. I think it was the right call to not try to fight Dragon there with the lack of control they had, because if they fight Dragon, and lose the fight, then suddenly Dplus are actually just back in the lead, and T1 just don't take that risk. Instead, grab 2 turrets in top and now in mid.
I feel like if it were the T1 Circus, they probably would have just sent it and been like, yeah, we're better, you know, we'd probably win this anyway.
They're on break after that.
Even though Oner's like 30% health, it doesn't matter, we could just do this, but I think they're actually showing a good amount of respect today.
Yeah, after that Faker play in game 1, they're taking a small hiatus.
Yeah, they're like, you know, DK are a really good team. I hear that they're the best team on planet Earth. And yeah, they certainly came very well prepared for Dplus Kia today. And I feel like so far Peyz is leading currently in terms of Palm candidates. Had a great game of Jhin. Absolutely dominated the bot lane there as well. Lucian is kind of defining this whole game here. Although mid has been basically kind of actionless. There hasn't been a huge amount of action outside of the bottom lane.
That was a Giga Scryer, by the way. 3 wards found and cleared in that swift moment there. Actually, a lot of value for Keria as he sets that one up. He is the support. He has got the idea of where those wards will be. Obviously, 2 of those extremely obvious, but lines them up.
I guess he's okay. Very fast.
You never know. You never know.
Like, she was going to just pick up that axe and flash on him, and we're like, oh, okay, here we go. But I think Doran was just a little bit too fast in that moment.
We always get the Baron zoom in when T1 is playing, because they like to follow along and go right there at 20 minutes, but not in this game state. It's not the same lead they had in game 1. He is constantly threatening this rundown. He's going to get this ward, though, and Doran will respect and even be able to potentially poke him. Potentially.
Yes. He's got potential.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say he's a man of potent. He's quite potent. Yes. In fact, on 2 items on the Jayce. But not if the Olaf is in melee range. So he likes to do the poking. He likes to stay away from the Olaf. That's a little poke right there. More poke, potentially?
I mean, the thing about this game is that we're just kind of stalling, and now it's Chemtech Soul, so really kind of have to look later in this one, especially with it being so even at 20 minutes. Look, like, yes, T1 have the advantage, but...
I think the Caitlyn right now versus where Lucian's at on 3 items is in a horrible state. Like, it's a trough of... It's the normal Caitlyn trough, but it's in a trough within itself because it's so far behind just in general of this Lucian.
Hurdle.
And... They need to, I think, because right now you've got to get out of that, and then your Jarvan engage with the setup damage. Okay, finally.
Yeah, here we go. She decided now was the moment. Oh, no, he's just kidding. But does
or is he?
In a big way. Yeah.
Potential poke.
Still has his flash.
Gets the turret, so that's big.
Yeah. As they're going to find someone, it is going to be Lucid on Bush, and he does actually get the nice fat flash over the wall.
ShowMaker with the peel from the side.
Yeah.
Keeps him alive there. Huge opportunity for T1 on the cross map there. I mean, it wasn't a cross map per se because it was just a 1v1 there on the top side, but they strike back in a big way after losing that turret. And I was going to say, if they can get out of that trough, right, if Smash gets the 3 items, he has a second item, IE, which is a big spike for him, and part of the reason why he's down a whole item because that one's really expensive. But if he can get to 3 items, and ShowMaker still in an even state between him and the Ryze, the Olaf is still relevant, then the Jarvan setup with this Lux pick really is very strong. I think part of the reason why Sejuani's fallen out of the meta is you kind of are a little bit binary. Did you hit your ult or did you not? Yeah. Otherwise, you just, with 80 carries getting buffed with role quests, like they just do so much damage.
Some junglers have been defined in their careers by whether or not they have hit that,
that ult,
by the way. Like, that's how binary the Sejuani.
But other junglers are still relevant because they can do things when they go in, whereas the Sejuani is like, all right.
Tanky.
But with 80 carries being this strong in this meta, that you just kind of get focused down and killed so quickly as the Sejuani. So I think Oner's relevance will fall off a little bit later on. So they are going to try to take this Baron early and hold on to this lead. And Dplus don't have any control over that area right now. They might even be aware this is a possibility, but they're so far away.
They know now, but I think it's a little too late. And Peyz is here. He's kind of playing gatekeeper. These three members are doing the Baron so quickly, but Lucid gets here just barely not on time. And that is a T1 Baron for the record books. There's a little delay on the backs, but at the end of the day, with Peyz not there and the Drake about to come up, DK kind of pulled out of position, and they get fooled.
Yeah, and they wanted to try to turn that delay of the backs into a potential play mid, but the Baron minions are defending the turret. They're going to get this Dragon, but it pales in comparison to value to what T1 get in exchange here. His W is up now for Doran. He's just going to start chunking through this turret. Has a big wave coming through. Peyz has this huge cannon minion now pushing the mid turret. And T1 almost even considered to try to get a punish on those dragon-taking members of Dplus. They're not able to get there fast enough to get either of them. Well, okay, won't be able to get either of them. Lucid does get away here. And T1, they also know that this is not a Dplus auto win if they outscale here, but they just want to give them the opportunity. They're going to take the Baron. They get that flash out of Lucid. They go straight to the other side of the map. It's this push and pull. Circus, possible?
Trying to catch Faker here. And there's no knock-up, so he just gets away. Does more damage to them than they did to him. Here comes Oner. That is a Ragnarok Olaf who's blocking the way, so not really much Oner can do. Peyz is looking for that IE fourth. And once he hits that, scaling be damned, like this Lucian will just one-shot people.
Say your prayers. Hold your hands together.
Yeah, it is really scary.
And, lest you forget when you stand up and look across the stage that Faker is on the other side of the stage against you. But
and some Lucians, they like to go rapid fire cannon for just the giga range, like double tap, but
it doesn't need it here, I don't think.
With the Milio, I think it's fine to just go ahead and...
I mean, they have so much poke with the Jayce as well as this tanky Ryze with the Sejuani, so... Yeah. This one isn't going to be his favorite culling he's had this game, but it's going to help clear out the wave, and the siege continues. And because Siwoo isn't able to wrap around here and actually get access to try to go for a pinch, they just keep pushing. Mikhail's is good.
Yeah, Mikhail's also very good into this champ, as Ingo's Doran wants to take the trade and immediately regrets it. Here comes Siwoo right down the middle lane, as Siwoo will take the kill in the solo fashion.
But now T1, though, they don't have to worry about a flanking Olaf, so just keep prepping these waves here. Faker's going to start pushing mid because Lucid, he's here trying to defend and set up a cross, and Siwoo's gone. Like, he doesn't have his ult. He's just pushing top side, so Faker gets the double push through mid. For the next 20 seconds here, they are really maximizing what's left of this Baron. I think it was still a good play there from Siwoo, as I think Doran's been relying a lot on these side steps of the undertows and these types of trades. Has a Baron wave here, but Olaf just doesn't care about anything. Like, he really does not care.
Yeah, I'm not sure why he goes in there with the hammer down, because, like, it's Olaf.
It almost felt like the command came down from Faker. He was like, I need you to control mid. And Doran's like, all right. Guess I'll go.
Yeah, because, I mean, obviously, if, Olaf's already that close to you, you kind of have to commit to a trade if you want to trade, but if you don't want to flash early, that is.
You usually just don't want to be in that range with Olaf. So when you go into it...
The fact that he was close enough to even do that is...
Olaf says, I accept your challenge.
Oh, you want to fight? Cool. I'm so down.
Well, no death dance for Siwoo, but he is getting stronger. Yeah. And that is the point where even against 4-item Lucian, Smash is able to layer just a little bit of damage onto these carries with the Ragnarok and Olaf running down on them. You can win fights despite a deficit, but all depends on Peyz's positioning, if Siwoo can get access, when he has his ultimate available. He gets it back so quickly with the Hex Plate, just part of this build with the Stride Breaker, where your whole job in the late game is see carry, run at carry, press Q repeatedly, and right-click on carry. And there's no one that can stop you in this draft from actually making that happen. You just have to stay far away. And you need to be ahead enough to where that's not a factor, as that IE is done.
Doran's so scared that he's, like, missing cannons and staying well behind his turret. Because he just knows that Siwoo, especially after that last kill, and still having flash, can absolutely kill him under the turret. So I understand playing safe, but Jayce isn't really doing a whole lot inside.
This is getting awkward because Peyz has mid-prio, so Lucid, I don't know how much you really want to play this game. He's coming over. They got Blast Cone.
Yeah, he's going to throw it straight into the Jarvan. With the Realm Warp coming on over, they can close the distance so quickly as the Jarvan just gets executed by Lucian. Peyz flashes in, doesn't get the kill, as she will just barely live to tell the tale.
I mean, this might be the opening up of the base. They're not going to commit further, but this is the exact type of thing we talk about with T1. We talked about it in game 1. Like, Lucid's like, I'll mess around with the Sejuani. I'm like, that's the whole team, though. They're going to be right there. They're on you, man. They got Blast Cone. They saw all the angles. Like, T1 is watching this going, look at this. We got mid-prio. Is that a Mega Cone? Yeah, I'm in. You think you can mess around with me? You think you can trade autos with me? He just instantly ults him, Arctic assaults him, and guess what? Peyz just teleports from a mile away and bursts him down with his IE. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
It's just that simple. Peyz almost gets Siwoo as well. Gets his Ragnarok as well, and that's Dragon.
Just push bot and take inhibitor, but instead they say, okay, we'll just take the safe Dragon. T1 not really overstepping their bounds. You know, this is kind of an annoying team comp to play into when you're dealing with Kate Logs. You get hit by like a binding or a Scatter the Weak out of just, you know, out of the fog of war. All of a sudden you can die even if you are really fed. But they're playing it very cleanly.
T1 are taking the unfair fights. That's what they're doing. They're like, yeah, well, I'm going to Blast Cone from a million miles away. I'm going to outnumber you very quickly because we have map control, we have vision.
I'm just glad the Mega Blast Cones are being used for good rather than evil.
Well, in your case, that means just not using them at all, right?
Yeah, it's true. I wanted to try a different, you know,
this throwback
angle.
Never gets old. Except I think probably 90% of the people watching have no idea what we're talking about.
Well, they should watch more of the Pog State.
They should.
That's, you know.
Oh, the small misplay.
Had a new episode come out yesterday. Make sure you guys are watching that. Oh. We had a lot of fun.
Biggest blemish for 0-0-0 Faker in this game was missing that Scuttle Crab spawn.
Yeah. He's really just been Ryze maxing very well in this game, which is you sit in the side lane and farm and do nothing else.
Sometimes run away.
Yeah, you realm warp.
Sometimes help chase.
You realm warps go in,
Baron,
they
by
go
the way.
out.
3-item smash is ready to fight, but they just, you know, they need to find an angle to actually break through or get an Olaf into position because Siwoo is not here. He has TP, but didn't really have a good TP angle. But with that ward getting dropped in the pit, he'd had one, so T1 do back away in respect. T1 are playing this game correctly. Playing not to lose, not to take fair fights that are 5v5 with an Olaf running down, but to constantly have that map control and look for turns that are really tough for Dplus to fight. And just like their previous Baron, where they're like, okay, I'm going to sneak this. I'm not taking a 5v5. I'm just going to get this Baron, and then too bad for you.
There are 4 people over that wall, by the way, Oner. He is going to flash away. Scatter the Weak goes wide, and Peyz is the raid boss. Everybody steps up to protect him, and everybody on the side of DK have to just run away, tail tucked.
The wall was the biggest opponent of Dplus on that play. They couldn't actually really close the gap there. Everyone was on the other side, but T1 do way more damage over it. Now Shio's looking for his angle. Here we go. It's Olaf time.
No, I don't know, man. They have way too much damage. He's going to try anyway, and he's just going in by himself trying to take out Peyz.
Stops the Baron.
He did a lot of damage, I guess.
Look at what happens when he goes in 1v5. What happens when Dplus are there? That's what T1's scared of. That's why T1 didn't start that Baron a moment ago. That Olaf gets in. You are not going to have a good time. Even if everybody turns towards him and blasts him with all of their basic abilities.
It's kind of insane to watch that. Like
he is now down. He doesn't have his ultimate, but it will be up when he respawns. So maybe T1 have a small window here to like, all right, Olaf's gone, try again.
Yeah, 30 seconds until he gets up, and then the TP timer as well. Lucid is right over the wall, though, so that's the one thing you got to be careful of. Looks like they might just go for the flip. As
Oner's getting focused.
Considering it, but actually they do pull off of the Baron. As you know, I'm not Ox, I'm not the expert, but I'm pretty sure that that Baron is the hunting Baron,
it is the
and it does a lot of damage.
It does do a lot of damage. Also, they are taking a lot of damage from ShowMaker, from Keria over the wall. And Siwoo's back alive now, did have TP, so if they had slowed it down, it could have been disastrous. Siwoo's like, 1v5? I take these.
Bring it on.
Look at him, just, Peyz is like, get him away from me! God!
Guards, please protect me.
All right, Smash starting to do some damage. He is also heading towards a 4th item here.
Yeah. We go to 32 minutes. It doesn't matter if the Lucian has 2 items ahead of you. You still have a Caitlyn that has 3.5. So still going to do some big damage. We have effectively gotten out of the trough, although he definitely needs some attack speed. He's getting there.
So T1 maintain map control. Cannot secure Baron, but have threatened it several times. They're just forcing Dplus in these uncomfortable spots, and eventually either Dplus will get the punish, or, you know, T1 will actually be able to find a window where there's no Ragnarok, or they don't have any teammates coming over. Maybe they focus Siwoo down and they can do the Baron. Because both teams are getting stronger and stronger, but T1's, I think their influence is waning, right? Their ability to control this map is getting tougher and tougher.
All right, here we go. Gonna press some buttons. Scatter the weakest dodge, and ShowMaker, the double tap. He even tries to flash it, and Peyz puts the team on his back like he's done all game long, and sets up the play. 3 kills, and they're just pushing mid to end.
GG, as we have a TP here to hold the wave. And I don't think this TP is gonna leave Siwoo with a whole lot.
They have minions. No, they got 2. Yeah, they have 2 minions.
Yeah.
So that's enough.
Let's see if Lucid with GA can snipe them.
Oner can just tank it. I mean, Lucid's gonna have to try, otherwise the game ends, right? So there he goes in, doesn't get the 1, but it is going to go in and die, as they'll take the kill on a Lucid instead, and Siwoo's done a good job of holding the wave here. So the game will not end right now.
Okay. Got that mid inhibitor, and ShowMaker has TP on respawn. There's no enemy jungler. Do T1 try to 5v1 and Olaf. He is lurking. Doesn't have his TP anymore because he used it on that wave. I don't think he's going to go in. They
started Baron on Vision. They started Baron on Vision, and look how far up they are. The engaged cone, Keria is so dead. There's nowhere for him to go. Celestial opposition not going to help out. Peyz goes in, takes an insane amount of damage from ShowMaker. And that'll be the end of him.
That's a bridge too far.
And now Siwoo's going in on a Faker, taking the 1v1. Faker trying to just run out this one onto the blast cone, gets away. And they do pick up the Baron as well.
Okay, Peyz, you know, on that last play, he turned Lucian into Jhin, except it was a Jhin that did damage. That was crazy. He was a sniper when he went for that flash play. I hope we get to see it again. I think this is going to be it right here. Watch this. Gets the W, calls him. Watch this. Oh, you're on another planet? Is that Earth, the place where you're the best team of? I don't think so. You're in the death chamber.
Yeah.
He shot him from so far away, flashed on him. Auto flew 10 kilometers.
Yeah.
As then here he just runs onto Keria, but tries to go on to ShowMaker on this follow-up. Boom.
Just press R, baby. That's all you need. And now they're taking the dragon. Lucid's dead. Doran's like, what? You haven't fought me today, have you? Ult comes in and at least gets him, but it's a 2-for-1 in favor of Doran. And they have Baron. I mean, they could still set up a push here.
The main thing that Dplus were able to do during the backs post-Baron was to clear that mid-wave. So it's pushed back pretty far. So T1 are trying to operate through the side waves here. Look at where Olaf is right now on the minimap when this happens. This is actually just comedy.
The damage.
Nice try.
Crazy.
And then ShowMaker's like, oh yeah, I didn't even hit my scatter, but watch this. That's actually crazy. It's actually like, is that okay? Is that allowed? I think T1 still, though, now that this wave is cleared, have too much siege. It should be able to end.
She was trying to catch the wave, but we got a Realm Warp in as well from bot lane. And they're just going to try to end the game here. Keria doesn't have the wave clear. Siwoo's going to press his buttons one last time, and he takes out the Milio. And who cares? That's going to be a root onto Oner. Can't quite get in range of the Nexus just yet, but they get the 1 kill on a Lucid. They step forward, and they will end this series. 2-0 T1. Show them that they are not yet the best team on Earth. And T1 will humble them tonight.
T1 reminding Dplus, and perhaps more than Dplus, CV Max, that they've got quite a few more stars